Good to see you.
Here we go. Heads up, guys.
Yeah, it's been a little while, right? Good to see you.
We're gonna see if they'll let us play this picture. First thing, this is all about. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, I need a step stool.
He's in telling me everything that's going on.
Okay.
There's plenty of seats here in front. I always like to sit in front at the church or at a basketball game, so if anybody wants to move up front. Here, there's plenty of seats up in front. Nobody wants to. Hey, I want to welcome everybody here today, and it's really a sad day, but really a joyous day. And I'll turn it over to Jerry Costello. My speech will be short and sweet. So, Jerry, you want to be the first one to talk?
Thank you all for being here today. It's truly an honor and a pleasure for me to be involved in this process. As a veteran of the first Gulf War myself, and as someone who lost a person that I considered to be my brother, and he was the godfather to my youngest daughter in Afghanistan, I want to tell you that I truly empathize with both Gay and Fred, and bluntly all military families who have lost members in service in defending our country and our nation. Again, like I said, it's an honor for me to be involved in this process, to name a portion of Route 127 after Wyatt, and in honor of his service. I also would like for you to know that I believe this is a way of honoring all servicemen and women who have given their lives, and I would absolutely positively love to be involved in any namings of any portions of highways, roads throughout the state, whether it be parks, whatever the case may be, after any veterans who have served our country, and especially those who have given their lives, obviously the ultimate sacrifice. For me, being a state representative is a great honor, but there's no greater honor in this world, in my opinion, than serving the United States of America as a member of the military. And Gay and Fred and your family, thank you so much for what you have given, and I truly do empathize again with you for what you've had to put up with as far as losing Wyatt at such a young age. It's something that I've experienced with, again, my best friend. So thank you. An honor to be here. It's an honor to have been involved with Representative Bost and Senator Luechtefeld in naming this portion of 127 after Wyatt. I've got the actual resolution and other copies for members of the family, but I think Representative Bost, if you would like to talk.
Just very quickly, and first off,
let me tell you, as I've told others, as a veteran myself, whenever I join, it is a feeling of service that you do, and it sticks in your heart to serve your country. And I thought that was probably a thing that I did, and it was a little scary, but I did it. But until, and Jerry's actually heard me say this before, until a few years ago, my son is a Marine officer. And the day he left to go to Iraq was the hardest day, I think, of my life. It's one thing if you're going, but when it's your child, if I could have figured out a way to go, I'd have done it. But I want to say a special thank you to not only you, but all parents in this room that have sent. First off, you've raised your children to serve and believe in this country, and we thank you for that. But not only that, that to the level that they serve. Thank you can never bring it back. But hopefully, not only Wyatt, but any others who have served and have given the ultimate sacrifice, they need to be remembered in any way we possibly can. And I thank Jerry for the opportunity to co-sponsor the legislation, and thank you. Thank you.
You know, on the way down here, we speak with a lot of things, and on the way down here, I wondered, what do you say? What do you say that can make a difference, that can make you feel better? And I'm not real sure that I have something to say. I do know this. I've gone by signs on highways where some politician's name was on that sign, and I've often wondered whether that really should be there. I truly have, whether it was a good idea. But I have no doubt that it's a good idea to honor a person who certainly served this country and give the ultimate sacrifice. You know, you certainly have my sympathy, my feelings. That probably doesn't help you. But this, I think, does tell you that we think it's important what your son did for this country. Again, I thank you and all certainly people who do serve in the military. You know, they go in and they simply say, I'm here to do what our country thinks is the right thing to do. And many of them end up having to give their lives. So again, thank you for everything that you do, not only the parents, but the relatives and friends and other people who are here who have people in the military. This, I think, is something that is worthwhile. I've often seen signs for politicians, and I wasn't real sure it was. So again, you certainly have my thanks and my support. Thank you.
You know, when I walked in this afternoon, I stopped and I shook hands with every one of those Patriot riders out there, and I've met every one of them. The reason I met every one of them is because when I commanded the National Guard, I was the guy who signed the orders, who sent everybody who went overseas, who went to combat. I was the guy who had to sign those orders. So when they came home, I met them at the airport. And for those who came home, like Wyatt did, I met those soldiers at the airport too. And those Patriot riders were there. And they came to the funeral. And they escorted the families. And I've met Gay and Fred a long time ago. I met him at ceremonies for other soldiers. And I have spoken at Gold Star family events. And I don't think I've ever spoken at one that Gay and Fred weren't there. Or if they weren't at the one I was speaking at, they were at another one somewhere else in the state. And the reason I talk about this is because these Patriot riders, like Gay and like Fred, are honoring the service of our veterans. And I think we do that. Everybody in this room is taking time out of their life to honor a veteran. There's guys and gals out there rode their motorcycles in, they're taking time out. Yesterday I was at the Marion VA Hospital, and some of my staff members, we stopped there because I wanted to make sure that we honor our living veterans and that we take care of those veterans, just as you have honored veterans. And I really want to thank Jerry and Mike, Senator Luechtefeld, for taking this step in memory of Wyatt, and taking this step in memory of every veteran, both those living and those who passed. And we're going to continue to do everything that we can for America's veterans, because they stand for the best. They stand for all of us. Thank you very much, Gay and Brad, Becca. Thank you for Wyatt's service in his life. Give it for our country.
Okay, Fred, I don't know if you would like to come up or you would like for me to present this to you in your seats. Either way would work.
Here's the resolution passed by both the Illinois State House and Illinois Senate, naming the portion of Illinois Route 127 after Wyatt Eisenhower. And we thank Gay and Fred so much for giving your son for this country. Here's also a sign. It's a smaller version of these signs that will be out on 127 on both sides of Pinckneyville. And this is for you and your family. Again, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Would you like to say something? Or it's completely up to you, I understand.
Well, I got a little something to say. First of all, I told Jerry and Mike and Dave and them earlier, I got the honor of meeting a wounded warrior at Marion at the VFW this Veterans Day. And we were called up front, the Gold Star families, and we received this medal from the Black Tigers. And as I told Jerry, sometimes you feel funny when they hang these things around your neck because you didn't do anything. You just had the honor of calling that hero your son. Well, when I went back, this young gentleman from Marion who had lost his leg in the war on terrorism came up and gave me a hug, told me how proud he was of me, how proud he was of Wyatt. And it humbled me so to the point that I ended up giving him my medal. And then we continued to talk, and I told him about them going to do this section of highway. And he started crying. And he said, "You don't understand. For someone like me, for our Gold Star family, when we see something like that along the roadside, whether it's a sign on the highway, a post office, a library," he said, "it's healing for us because we know our sacrifices were not forgotten by our country." So when you see the sign and it has Wyatt's name on it, it really doesn't just stand for Wyatt. It's a healing process for many Gold Star families and many wounded warriors, and even for veterans that serve, because we meet a lot of people on the street and they meet us with a smile and we shake their hand and we give them a hug. But until we get to know that veteran, we don't really know the demons he fights with inside. And so we have to remember those things. But now on a lighter note, a gentleman who works for IDOT. Fred and I have this habit, actually our whole family does. We see a car with a veteran sign on it, and we write them a little note, and we thank them. And we stick it on their windshield. Well, in 2009, Fred and I wrote a note to a veteran whose vehicle was parked at Metropolis at the, well, not actually Metropolis, but at that little fast mart there. And we went in and we left a note on his car. Well, he remembered the note, and when it came across his desk that he was going to be placing the sign for PFC Wyatt Eisenhauer, he remembered the note, and he remembered that Fred had put Wyatt's website thing on the bottom of the note, so he looked it all up, and he thought how ironic that his parents had left him a note thanking him for his service. So somehow he Facebooked and searched, and he found Rebecca, and he let her know this story. Well, then it was just too much of a coincidence, so they were working on a light. I thought they were working on the post for the sign out south of town, but they were working on the light, so I stopped and talked to a gentleman from IDOT, and he said, no, he's up at the shed, go up there and talk to him. So when I went up to the shed, he come out to meet me, but to tell me that he wants to get a picture to me that he has of you and him, because you were the radio person on the truck
That was the RTO in the first Gulf War.
that his
I was a 60 gunner and an RTO, so that's ironic.
and his group was assigned to your truck, and so you were the radio person. So I thought that was, his name's Wally Gibbs, and he must be a really outstanding man.
Very ironic.
So anyway, he has a picture for me to get to you sometime. So, but we just want to thank you all for being here and for coming out, because it is an honor.
Rebecca, would you like to say something? If you would like to.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. And I just want to reiterate that this is so wonderful that my brother's name is on that sign and that he's remembered. But I bet probably half of his scout platoon is sending messages this past week saying, this is great for Wyatt, but, this is for all of us. And kind of what my mom was speaking to earlier, that when they see things like this, they know that they're not forgotten. And their brothers and sisters that have paid the ultimate sacrifice are not forgotten. And I founded an organization, American Gold Star Siblings, and I'm lucky enough to get to speak with a lot of Gold Star siblings across the country. And we have this little thing that we all do now where when we see these signs, we do a Google search, and then we can find out about that hero. But then it leads to conversations about the battalion they served in or where they served, and so these signs like this, hopefully for generations to come, will be a reminder of all the men and women, and hopefully it'll help us teach our kids to know what's been sacrificed for our way of life here in this country.
You know what? I would also remind you, I believe Scott Air Force Base is named after a private.
Corporal Frank Scott.
Oh, it's Corporal. Okay.
Corporal.
Yeah. So this is a way of healing, and it's a way where service members aren't forgotten. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks. I'll see you at the basketball.